Peace, beloved. It's on full moon, and you're watching the dark side of the moon, where we expand your consciousness through mental health awareness, spiritual awareness, and anything else that might pop up on my mind. So today we're gonna be changing things around. I wanted to go a little bit more in depth with the information that I have, and I know I always was trying to keep a distance from certain topics because of just religious upbringing of a lot of individuals, especially in the Christian community. A lot of what I talk about is stuff that is like, deemed as horrible, evil, and blase blase. But I honestly am starting to not really care, and I'm really starting to move forward because in my eyes, I see religion, like all religions, like y'all all have bits and pieces of the truth, but it's all just one and the same. It's really not as separate as they make it seem and believe. They want you to believe that their religion is correct and their religion has all the answers, but really is answers in every religion, and everything is just a study of the same thing. It's just different perspectives. But nonetheless, today's episode we're going to be talking about heaven and hell and the infinite balancing between the two of them. And I'm going to be talking about what I believe heaven and hell is and just the concepts. So just like the yin and the yang, there is heaven and hell put together, like it's all one thing. If God made the world and God made everything, God made all those things that we deem as evil. So therefore, he is that too. So and that makes us just as much as that as well, as we come into this thing that we call life. Like, you've done bad things, I've done bad things, I've done good things, but we're really to be judged off of our character and what we decide to do on a daily basis, because we have access to just as much evil as anybody else. If it came down to it, like if I had to defend my family and that meant that I had to literally take somebody out, like if I was put into that situation where that had to be a thing, that would be me stepping into evil. Now 9 times out of 10, I wouldn't want to hurt nobody. Like, that's just not me. I'm not trying to put my hands on nobody and trying to shoot nobody. I'm not part of that lifestyle. I don't feel like that's the answer to resolve issues. But if I was put into the situation, I really had to, and there was no other choice, and like you coming from my mom or you about to hurt my brother's family, blase blase, I would have to step into that. And then in somebody's eyes, I would be deemed as a horrible person. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it was perspective based at that point. But anyways, back onto the topic, heaven and hell. So as within, so without. So we have all the elements inside of us. We have air, we breathe in air. We create air, and we create what the trees need. The trees feed off of us just as we feed off of them. And in our bodies, we're like clay, like we have this earth, it's made, so it's physical, and then our fire is also in consideration of our breath, just as air is, because you could eventually breathe fire if you really wanted to, if you breathe the right chemicals out, but nonetheless, it's like your power is your solar plexus. Your solar plexus is like where your fire is stored at, and then our blood is like water, so that's all the elements right there. Like, we are just as much as part of the process as everything else. And when it comes to heaven and hell, I like to view it as like the top and the bottom. You have the crown chakra at the top, which is like reaching for the heavens and stuff, and then we have our root, which is governed by sexuality. And if you're not careful, you can get out of hand, and you can just think with your lower self and your sexual self, and just always be like hunting out for like sex and stuff like that. But like, sex is a part of the process of life. It's something that we should tap into. So therefore, it's like sometimes you need the hell in you to be active. You know what I mean? But it's just a balancing of the two. You step too far into this place in your crown chakra, you be too much in the clouds, and people are wondering like, this dude's always just in the clouds. He doesn't have no grounding sense to him. He doesn't have a balance, And so it's like, heaven and hell is that perspective. And then also heaven and hell also is like a lifestyle choice. So it's like, take two people, I'm always doing the duality thing, create and destroy heaven and hell. You know, you need both. So take two people, right? So this guy over here, I used this example before. Bad lifestyle choices. You know, he doesn't eat right. He doesn't wake up on time. He doesn't have anything to output his emotional discord. He doesn't have any friends, so he doesn't have any emotional connections. So he's living a life of hell, you know, and that is how he now views the world. Like that's his lenses. Like he put on some glasses, and that's what he's seeing the world through. He's seeing it through hell. And this other individual here, they eat correctly, they wake up on time. You know, they have a lot of friends who treat them nice, and they uplift them in different facets of their life, and they're just great. You know, they're feeling great, and they're viewing their life through heaven. But these people both live on the same damn planet. You know, so they've created two different realities. One is heaven and one is hell. Hell and heaven. You know what I mean? So that's how I view heaven and hell, because everything that's inside of you is also outside of you. So it's like, you know, you can tap into either or. You can live in either or. And then sometimes you have to live in the hell so that you can understand the heaven. And you need both, you know. Like there comes times in your life, like Mercury retrograde, when we have to kind of live in a hellish state that's like really like, it's like daggers digging in your skin and your mind and your soul, and when you having to go back in the past and look at things. But like at the same time, you're being upgraded because you're being pushed. You know, you're being pushed to a limit. Just like you're working out, like you breaking down your muscles so they can be rebuilt and be built in a stronger way. So we have to go through those lows so that we can build to those highs. You know what I mean? And it's just a cycle, and keeps going for infinity. And that's God, that's heaven, and that's hell. And there's no, when you create separation from those two things, you separate yourself. And when you separate yourself, you allow yourself to be in a place of discord and unhealthy mannerisms and understanding. And then you put your place at a hierarchy, thinking that you're much different than certain other people, you know, and instead of seeing that you're all just one and the same, you know. And that's kind of like what the Christian religion has done. It's like a mind fuck, because they have caused you to believe that you're gonna either go to heaven or hell when you die. But the truth of the matter is, everything is energy. And what do they say about energy? Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. So if you are energy and you're the same as everything that's outside of you, you just keep coming back. You keep coming back, which is why we have trauma and stuff, like from our parents. And that's why we are just like our parents, because we are the same energy. We just keep coming back. Immortal souls, our souls are not destroyed. They keep coming back. And our souls have been here since the beginning of time. You get what I'm saying? So if our souls have been here since the beginning of time, and we are made in the likeness of God, and we are masculine and feminine energies, separate but still the same, then God is very much us. So the heaven and hell that they speak about is just two sides, masculine and feminine. But once you start creating that duality perspective, you create a destructive reality, which is like, if I give you a couple of examples, such as the Bloods and the Crips, they could tie their flags together, work together, and we would have less problems, and we would be in a place of unity and understanding that we are not different than the other side. We are just like the other side. You know what I mean? There's the Confederate and the Union. You know, they were two different sides fighting for what? Slavery, and then not having slavery. Like, first of all, humans should be enslaved, but I'm not gonna go into that right now in this video. But, you know, if they would have just came together and be like, hey, you know, this isn't right. I know I kind of fall into the Union side of just like, there shouldn't be slaves in the first place, and they should be free. But, you know, it's just, there's a constant duality. There's the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. You know, there's a constant duality just always going on. There's two sides. When you're arguing with your significant other, there's two sides. But unity is the answer. That's how you step into the 5-dimensional standpoint of life. you know, you step away from seeing that there are two sides and seeing that they're just as much as together, you know, and you start creating a problem. You notice that the science is the spirituality, and the spirituality is the esoteric, the stuff that you can't see, and the science is the physicality of things. But once you put them together, it's like, okay, I can fuse these two and stop separating them and create a new world through unity. But yeah, that's just kind of how I view heaven and hell. And when things come imbalanced, you know, you got things like if you step into the hell part of yourself and you become really into that side of yourself, and the darker side of yourself, you become problematic. You know, you arguing, you're controlling, manipulative, you are dominating that doesn't need to be dominated, you know. And if you come in too much in like the heaven portion, you got this hierarchy mindset that you're like better than other people and people are doing wrong, and this, like, you just got this high thought of yourself, you know. But when you get both, you kind of tie into both of them. It's like you understand that you are made of the cosmos, and then you're also made of dirt. Like your body's made of dirt, but you're still both. So it's like a grounding sensation, a humbling sensation. Like you're humbling yourself and understanding that you just like everybody else. It's just the only thing that makes you different is the choices that you make on a daily basis based off of where you put yourself. So I'm gonna wrap this video up by saying something a little bit different. This age that we're in right now is a very monumental age because we're stepping into a place where witches and warlocks, whatever you want to call them, people who do magic, they are a lot more safer than they were back in the day. You know what I mean? So like medicine women, like the people who understood that the earth was not here to just hurt them, and they understood love at a different frequency, and they actually wanted to heal people, they're stepping into their power in this particular point in time because like social media is here. Like people are all over social media doing tarot readings, they stepping into the power, doing magic, you know what I mean, understanding the dimensions and stuff, and then really just speaking about it more into the open world. And like that's gonna create a big difference. And I honestly recommend to you that you kind of step into your power as well by doing research. Excuse me, hello burp. By doing hella research, just kind of learn about spirituality from whatever facet you can, and don't put yourself in a box. Don't put yourself in a religious box, because once you do that, you kind of block yourself out from understanding like deeper portions of life, and understanding that like if you put yourself in a box and thinking that you're going to hell all your life, if you doing certain things, you're gonna cause a disruption in your mind. You're gonna believe that you're just gonna go to hell just because you did certain bad thing, instead of you thinking that you're not gonna go to hell, but you understanding that there's a karmic balance to everything, and that if you do bad things, those bad things are gonna happen to you in some shape or form in this lifetime instead of like after, you know. So that perspective is a whole different perspective than thinking you're gonna go to hell and then living a life of misery because you believe that you did something bad that you're never gonna be able to get from, you know. And so stepping out of that box, understanding that everything is a karmic reflection of everything that you've ever done and are doing, then you can step into your power, step out of a box, step into a brighter future, manifest easier, you know, live a healthier lifestyle, honestly be free from a lot of diseases, because a lot of diseases are really just from a mindset perspective. You know, they got people believing a lot of stuff that's going on, instead of understanding that we generate health based off how we feel, how we think about ourselves, and what we eat, especially because, you know, it's the both, you know, it's the duality of things. You got the physical manifestation of your body, like obviously this type of foods that you eat, like if you're drinking wine, if you're drinking liquor and stuff like that, that's poison. And like if you drink too much of it constantly, you're gonna poison your body and you're gonna make yourself more susceptible to disease. But your mind is just as important, like I said, the heaven perspective, the perspective that you can't see, like what you feed yourself mentally, what you're watching like on TV, like movies and stuff. If you're watching stuff about people getting killed all the time, putting yourself in a low vibrational state, you know, you may think that you're okay, but like your subconscious is like in an endangerment zone. You're like, down, I can't live life, or you feel like you have anxiety and you just can't pinpoint the trigger. You know, it's just, you gotta watch what you're thinking about yourself, watch what you're watching, watch what you're listening to, watch who you're hanging around, you know, and you know, just understand that what you put in here is gonna transmute, it's gonna transform into whatever facet of whatever life is gonna draw down. There's gonna be you know, a movement. You know, there's always a movement from what you do, a cause and effect. You know, so just be aware of the cause and effect. Understand that everything is a karmic balance. Understand that there's a duality present inside of yourself. And once you start to balance yourself out by, you know, doing daily meditation and yoga, eating correct, and just eating correct is like for your body, built on your body. Like, I know I did a video a long time ago about food, and I was just talking about like, yo, meat is disgusting. It's like blase blase. It's like, I understand that there are people who can eat meat and be completely okay. Like, you know, the only thing I would just say about that is like, watch where you get the meat from, because a lot of organizations, they treat their animals incorrect, and that everything's a cause and effect, like I said. So, you know, you take on the emotions, you take on the feelings of everything that comes from the animal. Eat kosher, I guess. But yeah, eating based on your mood. Like, if you're feeling a little off, it may be time for you to detox. Like, you ate a lot of shrimp one day, you ate shrimp a whole week, like that next week you need to spend some time eating some fruits so you can step back into your good self, your power, you know, detox. Drink a lot of water, you know, step back into a zen state of mind, a balanced state of mind, you know. It's just all about being balanced. Like, you can still enjoy life, do what you're doing, you know, just how I talked about like the semen retention thing. Like, you don't have to always do semen retention, but it's good to heal that sexual trauma that we might have picked up in this state of the world because of like porn and the sex industry that's like over-inducing sexual tendency through music and like, you know, just everything that's out there. You know, it's like, sex is a part of us, obviously, but too much of anything is just as bad. So it's the same concept for everything else. But yeah, this pretty much wraps up the video for today. Thank you for watching The Dark Side of the Moon, where we talk about mental health, spiritual matters, stuff to uplift your consciousness and put you into a state of enlightenment so that you can be healthy, happy, free, and zen. This is Ampu Moon. Please hit that like and that subscribe button so I can reach more people who need this message, who need to hear what I talk about. And thank you for taking the time out of your day to support the channel. I really thank those who are constant viewers. I look at the analytics and I love it. I love to see it. You know, it's we're still new here, so it's like, I don't care that I'm getting like 10 views on some videos. Like, it's straight. Like, that's amazing. I'm glad to have y'all here. I'm glad to have y'all here as I start this new venture into something I've always wanted to do and talk about, but it was kind of just like not enough information, not enough studying, blase blase. And I'm also growing as a human, so constantly learning. You know how it is. But thank you. Peace.